actually in the game that could even give me the knowledge. So I had to get out here and take the bumps and bruises for myself from making mistakes, from signing this or not asking about this. And in the long run, it started to affect me because of the moves and the decisions that I made, you know, in the beginning. But I was excited from the beginning of, you know.
But it usually leads to them living a tough life. It starts a cycle of tough shit. And no matter how tough their act is, they do some brazen. They get ready to go to the home of the boldest. So they're gonna be around to do that. That's what they did when they put you in the, they classify you and put you in.
Y'all, this story just took a turn that no one saw coming. We're talking secrets, betrayals, and receipts that are straight up exposing some of the biggest names in the game. Big Meech, Young Buck, and 50 Cent? Oh, this drama is about to get real messy. And let me tell you, if you thought you knew what was going on, think again, because we've got new updates that change everything. So grab your popcorn, because once you hear this tea, you won't be able to look at these celebs the same way again. Let's get into it. So let's rewind a little, back to the early 2000s when Big Meech was running BMF, Black Mafia Family, and living that straight up movie lifestyle. I'm talking fast cars, designer everything, and a bankroll that could make the IRS cry. And right in the middle of all that, none other than Young Buck. Now, if you don't know, Young Buck was out here rolling with BMF like he had a membership card. Dude was partying, flexing, and spending money like he had an unlimited balance. Except he didn't. In fact, word on the street is that Buck was blowing through cash like it was Monopoly money. And guess what? That didn't end well for him. When the money dried up, so did his connections. And who was the first to cut him off? 50 Cent. Because let's be real, 50 doesn't play when it comes to business. But here's where it gets juicier, because this wasn't just about money. Nah, Buck had some skeletons in his closet. And let's just say 50 Cent had the keys to that closet. Now, when Big Meech got locked up, a lot of his so-called brothers disappeared. But Young Buck, he stayed oddly quiet, like radio silent. And if you've been in this game long enough, you already know what that means. Because let's be real, if your homie is being accused of being a snitch and you know he's innocent, wouldn't you defend him? Exactly. But Buck, he sat back like he didn't want the heat to come his way. And guess who called it out? 50 Cent. 50 lives for exposing people. And when the allegations of Big Meech working with a federal informant named Tammy Cowan started flying, it was game over. Turns out Tammy wasn't just a random player in this mess. She was a confidential source for the DEA. And according to leaked prison calls, Big Meech allegedly used her to snitch on none other than Dion, Cuffy, Gatling to get a time cut. And y'all, this isn't just some rumor. There are receipts. Paperwork even names Tammy as confidential source one. This is some next level betrayal because if true, Big Meech was basically out here playing chess while his so-called brothers were pawns. Now, if you think 50 was gonna let this slide, absolutely not. He started hinting at dropping a documentary that would lay everything bare, exposing all the dirty details of Big Meech's alleged snitching and even dragging Young Buck right back into the mess. See, this doc ain't just about Big Meech. It's about how this whole operation had layers of lies, betrayals, and people flipping like pancakes. And knowing 50, if he's teasing something, he's got the proof. After all this heat, Big Meech finally broke his silence. He put out a statement saying he never cooperated with the feds, never snitched, never folded. Sounds good, right? But here's the problem. The damage was already done. Because let's be real, where there's smoke, there's fire. And the fact that his name even got caught up in this mess, it's not looking good for his legacy. The streets have a long memory, and this kind of allegation, it sticks. So, in the middle of all this, Young Buck, of all people, decided to throw shade at 50 Cent. Big mistake. He posted some cryptic message online about real ones knowing the truth, and guess what? 50 came right back with the pettiness we all love. Not only did he remind everyone that Buck once got exposed for allegedly messing around with a transgender woman, which 50 never let him live down, but he also straight up said that Buck's downfall was his own fault. And honestly, he's not wrong. This is a guy who had it all. Money, connections, success, but couldn't keep it together, and now he's on the wrong side of one of the pettiest, most powerful men in hip-hop. So now the question is, what's next for this drama? Is 50 Cent really about to drop this documentary and shut everything down for good? Will Big Meech finally clear his name? And most importantly, why is Young Buck still out here caping for Meech when all the signs are pointing in the wrong direction? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. And trust me, when the next chapter unfolds, we'll be right here breaking it down. So what do y'all think? Did Big Meech really snitch? Will 50 actually expose him? And why is Young Buck riding so hard for him? Let's get into it in the comments below. And while you're at it, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications because this tea is just getting started. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned.